Hello again, and welcome back to Blue Crescent Tarot. My name is Deanne, and I just wrapped up a video about aces and eights and had a little extra time, so I figure we can go ahead and take a look at the twos and the nine from this deck. Again, this is the Crystal Tarot by Philip Permutt, and in this deck, each card has its own individual crystal association as well as a chakra point that it relates to. So I think there's only one repeat in the deck, which I should mention. Orange calcite is used on one of the fives and one of the tens. So I'm quite certain that's the only stone that repeats. So this is a really great deck if you're interested in learning about different crystal associations. Of course, crystals have lots of properties and attributes and things that they're good for, right? Things they can help out, communication or heart chakra matters, things like that. Tends to be different color families for different chakra points, but it's not always the case. So again, I think it's a pretty good book if you are interested in tarot and crystals, because each message for each card gives a little one or two lines about the crystal and how it either helps to support the energy of that card or helps to kind of work out and be sort of a problem solver, part of the solution. So basically the point of these videos, I think, is just to maybe think about or have a conversation about the different crystal associations that you might have with cards. Do you have any? When you see two swords, do you have a crystal that comes to mind or something that you like to work with the entirety of the swords suit? What kind of things help you kind of add a layer if you work with crystals in conjunction with tarot? So here for this two swords, we have a rutilated quartz. The nine of swords, we have a sunstone. If you've seen a tumbled piece of this, it may look sort of peachy or lighter kind of pastel color. Two of wands, this is a carnelian, very red pieces, but carnelian nonetheless. Nine of wands is zoisite. Two cups, rhodochrosite. Sometimes those pieces will look a lot pinkier. Nine of cups, ametrine, which is a lab combination of amethyst and citrine. Two of pentacles, merlinite. And the nine of pentacles, oakenite, which is like a geode type stone. If you crack it open, it's white and sparkly on the inside. So, first things first, kind of notice different color patterns that may be taking place here. These are obviously very different. So this is going to be one of those where a green stone is relating to the sacral chakra, which is why I've pulled out the twos and the nines, because in this deck, the twos and the nines both relate to sacral energy, creation, and things that we're passionate about, that sort of planning, moving forward energy. Again, what can you create and what is it that really sort of drives you? So again, in this case, we have two very different colors. We would tend to think of these orange colors more closely tied to the sacral, but again, the zoisite in the book, this one I actually know without looking, it says open up to the positive potential of any situation, and I love that line and use that even when I'm not using this deck. When I see nine of wands, this always reminds me of that. So the merlinite and the oakenite, that kind of black and white thing going on, so those are more similar. The nine cups and the two cups, these are pretty different, right? We have orange, we have purple, so that orange again is coming into play, but they're not all just directly, orange stones for the twos and the nines, even though that they all relate to the sacral chakra. So are these associations that you have with these? If you have this deck, probably I would assume so. But for the two of wands, again, I had mentioned in the first video of this little series, I'm thinking about journaling about even though these are very cemented in my mind because I use this deck so often where I work, is there another crystal that I can come up with on my own that I think of when I see two wands? Is there another crystal with the sort of energy and supporting forward motion that carnelian provides, right? The artist stone. Is there another crystal that might be similar to that I could create? Not that I have to come up with my own list, but I just thought it might be something fun to do. So the Nine of Swords, right? This has Sunstone as a counter to the energy of this card, right? The energy of this card is pretty dark and heavy, sometimes called the Nightmare card. And so we have Sunstone here to pull up out of that depression or that anxiety or that worry. So this is, again, sort of a counter or a solution to the problem that the Nine of Swords presents us. So what do you think about these combinations here? Does Zoisite as the 9 wands crystal work for you, or would you have that be something else? Let me do a couple more close up in case I didn't show them all. So what are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts about the sacral chakra being tied to these cards? Again, I had mentioned in the first video of this little crystal and chakra series that I might look to my other decks that I know have chakra associations and see how they line up. Because of course there could be different associations for different tarot cards. You know, people don't agree across the board about zodiac, astrology associations, any of those things. There are some variances there. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this. Do you have this deck? Is it working out for you? Has it been helpful in your crystal study? For me, I must say it's been a really great tool because they're just ingrained now. So it always provides another layer to the reading. I can feel free to kind of wander into if needed, or if I feel like the reading's kind of going that way, a little additional help to give for the person that I'm reading for. So let me know what you think. Thanks again for tuning in. If you liked this video, please subscribe, and thanks so much. Hope to be back with another video for you soon. Love to you all.